I'm sorry for how much this has changed from the original post. I promise I'll get better at writing stories in the future. Welcome to my channel. This is a short story that I wrote about a year ago. It got 150,000 views on another platform. And I thought I should share it here too, because I think it would make a great D&D adventure. So here we go. In the heart of the ancient forest, known as Velmara, where light filters softly through towering trees, and the air carries the scent of moss and magic, there exists a place spoken of only in whispers, Thorn Hollow. Nestled between craggy outcrops, overgrown with ivy and wild roses, the hollow was said to be cursed. Yet it was not darkness that made travelers avoid it, but rather what lived within the cave at its core. A creature, forged from the very stone of the mountain, stood guard at the cave's mouth, with glowing golden eyes and armor-like plates of hardened mineral. It resembled both insect and titan, a colossal being with crushing claws and a presence so powerful it could silence birdsong. This was no mindless beast, but an ancient sentinel known in local legends as Vorthok, the guardian of the first flame. Many centuries ago, Velmara was not the peaceful forest it now pretended to be. It was a land torn apart by fire and magic. Warring kingdoms sought dominion over the flame of Eldereth, a mystical source of power said to burn with the first fire gifted to the world by the gods. Whoever possessed it could command not only fire, but life itself. They could bend the earth, heal the wounded, or destroy entire cities. To prevent such power from falling into mortal hands, the Elven Council sealed the flame deep within the earth. They called upon a creature, not born of flesh or blood, but summoned through the oldest of earth magic rituals. Vorthok was the result, a golem of extraordinary intelligence and will, bound by sacred runes to guard the cave entrance for eternity. No one could pass him, not without answering the call of truth. Every century, one soul would be summoned to stand before the beast. Not a hero, nor a villain, but one who bore the heart of both. This was the balance needed to touch the flame without being consumed by it. Most who came were either too weak or too proud. They were turned away, their memory erased, their names lost to time. But in the 8th cycle of the age, a young woman named Kellen appeared at the forest's edge. She was neither knight nor mage, but a healer from the quiet village of Oskmir. She carried no sword, no spellbook, only a wooden staff, a leather pouch of herbs, and a heart burdened by sorrow. Her village had been plagued by a blight that no known remedy could cure. Fields withered, rivers ran black, and children died in their sleep. Desperate for answers, she had followed a dream, one filled with glowing eyes and stone claws that led her to Thorn Hollow. As she stepped onto the overgrown path, lit dimly by shafts of golden light piercing the canopy above, Kellen felt the air thicken. A strange hum buzzed in her bones, as though the forest itself were warning her to turn back. But she pressed on, guided by some force she couldn't name. Flowers bloomed in her footsteps, responding to the purity of her presence, and even the thorns seemed to lean aside to let her pass. When Kellen reached the cave mouth, she saw the torch lit and upright. It rested beside the entrance like a ceremonial marker. Beyond it, darkness loomed. Not the ordinary kind, but a shade so deep it swallowed light. And then, out of that abyss, Vorthok emerged. The ground trembled beneath his weight as his massive form stepped forward, claws scraping the rock, his amber eyes glowing like molten suns. Yet Kellen did not flee. She bowed her head, placing her staff at her feet in a gesture of surrender. "I seek no power," she said, "only a cure." Vorthok stared at her in silence, then spoke, not with words of sound, but with a voice that echoed within her mind. "To heal others, you must first face the wound within." Kellen shivered, not from fear, but from the truth of it. The sickness that plagued her village was more than a physical blight. It was a reflection of something deeper, a grief that began the day her brother had died, a rot that had festered in her soul and seeped into the world around her. She had blamed herself, had grown hollow, and the land had mirrored her pain. Tears welled in her eyes as she knelt before the guardian. "Then show me what must be done." Vorthok stepped aside. Behind him, the cave shimmered, a passage formed of glowing runes and flickering firelight. Kellen entered. Within the heart of the cave burned the flame of Elderith, hovering above a crystalline pedestal, its light pulsing with every beat of her heart. She approached slowly, hands trembling. The flame reached out, not with fire, but with memory. Kellen saw her brother's face, smiling in the fields as a child. She saw her village before the blight, filled with laughter, song, and love. And then she saw herself, distant, closed off, afraid to feel. The flame showed her not only what had been lost, but what still remained. The chance to heal, not just others, but herself. She touched the flame. Warmth surged through her, not burning, but comforting, a fire that cleansed rather than destroyed. Her pouch of herbs glowed softly, each leaf imbued with new life. The blight's cure was not a potion, but an awakening, a reconnection to the old magic of life, love, and earth. When she stepped back out of the cave, Vorthok lowered his massive head in respect. For the first time in centuries, the guardian had found one worthy. The runes on his body dimmed, and his form began to fade, returning to the stone from which he had come. Kellen returned to Oskmir, her herbs now capable of reversing the blight. The fields bloomed again, the rivers ran clear, and laughter once more echoed in the streets. But she never spoke of the cave, nor the creature who guarded it. Some magic, she knew, was sacred. And deep in Thornhollow, beneath ivy and stone, Vorthok slept once more, waiting for the next soul brave enough to seek truth, and gentle enough to wield fire without flame. If you liked this story, I have 2 more written in the same world, and I'll probably write more. One of them takes place 700 years after this one, and the other is about a group of adventurers who try to steal the flame of Let me know if you want me to read those in another video, and if you want to hear more of my stories, you can follow me on another platform. Thank you for watching.